Hi, my name is Dan and I'm going to show you how I changed the oil on a 2004 Toyota Camry. And here we have the Camry right here that we'll be changing oil on. I have the manual from the owner's manual that gives me specifications. But this car we've had for 15 years. It's a great car. I've changed the oil on it myself consistently. So my object is for you to, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, to have a basic idea how to change oil. You see here I have engine lubrication on the far right that has the amount of oil you'll need, and so you have liters, quarts, and then some other measurement, but it's the quart that I want. It takes exactly 4 quarts with the filter, which I am going to include a filter in this oil change. Here you have the tools that you need that I use and have for many years. Of course it's dirty because I use it all the time, but the large round oil pan goes under the car. I use the square taller pan for putting the oil into empty milk jugs using that funnel to send off in recycling when I'm done with the job. You also need to, of course, have on hand the oil and the tools that you'll need. You can get oil in 5-gallon size, which is the tall one there. Since it only takes 4 gallons, that's plenty. Or you can get 4 quarts. I usually get an extra quart just in case I need to add some in between oil changes. Of course, you'll need your filter, and it looks like this on the inside. And I'll show you how we take out the other filter so we can put in the new filter in just a little bit. And also, I know from experience, but also in the manual, that I'll need a 14mm socket or wrench. Either one will do. So I'm going to show you now how to pop the hood and do the change. So first we need to drain the oil. So let's get under the hood. We get into the car, and you see here that the latch for undoing is right underneath here to the left and below your steering wheel, and you heard it pop there. Next we will go, so in the compartment you raise it, and under the hood you see this is the receptacle where you add oil when you're done draining oil. But first I'll take that off, loosen it just to relieve any pressure, and then when we get to it, here's the oil stick. You pull out and measure your new oil. But right now I'm only concerned with draining, so let's get to it. So as you can see, I've got the oil pan placed underneath, and we're going to remove the oil plug. And so you just slide underneath. Again, I've made sure that the vehicle is secure, the brake is on, it's in park, and I have it on securely on those ramps, so it's okay to slide a little bit under here and find the oil plug. It's a 14mm, and I've already loosened it a little, so I'll just go ahead. I'll make sure that the pan is underneath and go ahead and get this old oil running. And here it comes. And that's what it looks like. You should have about 4 quarts of oil in there to drain. However, usually between oil changes, an older car like this will tend to burn off even up to a quart pretty easy. But it'll drain out here, and I'm just going to let it drain a while. And then I'll replace the plug when it's done draining and secure it, make sure it's tight, and then we can go to the next phase. So in proximity to the plug, the oil plug, is the filter's not far away. It's up in here in this blue, It's just tucked under there, and you'll see that's where the wrench will fit over it. Turn it to the left to loosen it. It comes out pretty easy. It does spill oil around the edges as you're lowering it, and that's just natural. So you want to have the pan below it as well. Empty it out, it goes in the garbage. So this is what I chose for a filter. Now these come in different sizes for different cars, so you have to check and make sure that you've got the right filter. You can just ask anyone at a parts store behind the counter to assist you with that. As far as tools for removing the old one, this is such a tool, and this goes around the old filter, and you turn it counterclockwise to remove it. The other one is also available, can be put on the top, such as this, of your filter, and remove it that way, counterclockwise, and that attaches to a socket. Okay, so now that I have the oil removed, the old oil, you can see it's dark and old, so I'm going to put it in this other container, and you'll see why I do that in just a moment. So the funnel also comes in very handy in this situation where we're adding the new oil, and so I'll place it there, get it ready for the new oil, which is here. And add the new oil. You do that 4 times, and then we're going to move to our oil stick I mentioned, which is down here, to check the oil. So we've changed the oil out, and we started the engine after we put the cap on and let it run for a minute or so that the oil would mix and fill up the new filter. And now that we've done that, we're ready to measure with the oil stick, which is here all the time, and we pulled it out already and cleaned it off so that we'd get a clean view of the stick, which is kind of hard to do here, but if you can see that close enough, if it's in the darker rust colored area, you're safe. That's within that range there between the 2 light colored areas in the middle. That is where your oil needs to be, and as long as you're in that range, you're fine. So we're fine. We're topped off, in good shape for another 5,000 miles. Okay, that's it. We have finished changing the oil. We've cleaned up, put tools away. We have the old oil in recycle, ready to be picked up, and we're done with changing oil for another 5,000 miles on my 2004 Toyota Camry. Thanks for joining me.